Yeah, so you're talking about trusting doctors. I have, so the last time I went, I was considered overweight. And granted, when I went, I was 199 pounds, so 200 pounds. I know, right? Exactly. Right now I weigh about 180, a little under 180.
Okay. And you look
But
fabulous.
I'm still considered overweight
By whom?
by the doctor.
Is
The
it
doctors, the
it's
medical.
the BMI? Is that the scale?
I think so. I think that's what they call it.
Body mass index.
Exactly. I'm supposed to weigh like 155, 160 pounds. I haven't weighed that since freshman year of college. And I'm in better shape than I've been in.
Okay, I could stand to lose some weight. There's no doubt about that. But I'm large anyway, so it doesn't look as
well, you're just trying to fit into your head.
I have an enormous head. There's no
really
question
do.
about that.
I mean, the brain bucket you have for your motorcycle is massive.
I bought that helmet, and it's one of the modular helmets, so it kind of opens up. It's a full face, and then it opens up like that. And
custom made for your head size.
It was a 2XL though. And I said, "Hi, I'm looking for a helmet." And this look of concern comes over the salesperson's face, like, "Oh, wow." And so I'm thinking about, oh man, I've got a massive skull. And then my buddy goes and he needs a 3XL.
Oh my goodness.
He looks like a freaking Macy's Day float. Oh,
that's phenomenal. That is spectacular. I was going to say you need room for that massive brain of yours, and on top of that, you need room for your ego.
It's the curse of the medulla oblongata. It's massive.
Ooh, look at you pulling out the big words. Did you have coffee this morning?
I did have coffee.
Okay.
Is it obvious?
Speaking of, I know this is off topic, but still on topic.
Well, that's us.
Welcome to the PoddiMouths podcast. Do you watch on YouTube it's the username Trout and Coffee?
Oh gosh, no! Please don't add to my list of things I need to.
I really enjoy his because it's the kind that Peyton likes. We've talked about what Peyton likes, where it's just the person doing stuff and they're not really talking, and they have maybe some nice. Well, he does that really well. He is from either Connecticut or Massachusetts.
Okay.
And he basically drives around in an old Ford truck, blue, and drives around just the countryside. He's got a cabin. He works on cabins. I don't even know what his day job really is, but it's really fun because right now he's got his fall series. And by the way, another rabbit. Wow, I'm going down many different rabbit holes here. It's today is October 1st. It is the first day of my favorite season, the first day of my favorite 3 months in a row. And that's it. I just love this time of year.
This is not the first day. This is not the fall equinox, Spanky.
No. I know that was in September, but I'm talking about the
season.
What? The season. It is Halloween season. It's Halloween and fall season.
Welcome to Halloween season.
It's Halloween season. It's the true PSL season right here.
That explains the mask you're wearing right now.
Yeah, well, what can I say? It's a happy mask.
That's that old person mask. I can't believe you're wearing that.
No, John. Let me. I usually wear a mask, and normally this is my normal face.
Oh.
Anyway, back to the original rabbit hole.
Yes.
Trout and Coffee.
Yes.
So he drives around, and he has a fall series or an autumn series.
Oh, nice.
And the East Coast and the New England has just beautiful foliage. Yeah. So basically the last couple that he's posted have been 15-minute, just him driving his truck around, no sound, just the nice, fun music to go around with beautiful fall scenes. I just love it. I really enjoy it. It's a very calming video. I wouldn't go so far to say it's AMSR because it's not, but it's that kind of just, I could watch this all day long.
See, and that to me is very similar to Joe Robineau that I've told you about in the past. Mm-hmm. He's the guy who camps in the wilderness, especially in the cold weather.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it's not just Joe. There's another guy too that's My Self-Reliance is his.
Yes, I follow him too.
And they're just so, I don't know, they're just doing stuff. And it seems like it's almost just a calming presence of doing. And the best part is I'm sipping hot cocoa and I'm not having to be out there in the 20 below weather.
Exactly. Let them do the work and we just get to watch.
Well, he's just chopped 2 cords of wood. Oh my goodness, I need to put some more whiskey in this coffee.
Yeah. Well, and so speaking of coffee, that's where I was going with all of this. He actually launched a coffee brand for his Trout and Coffee series. And I went ahead and ordered a bag and it came in this morning. And so Jen and I had some around lunchtime today and it was really, really good.
Does it taste like fish?
No, it tastes like Mockingbird. No, I don't know. I don't even remember what the name of it was. It's very light. I did a pour over. I haven't had pour over coffee in a while because I haven't ordered any. So it was very, very good. That's all I had to say about that.
That's awesome. Well, it didn't take long.
Does it ever not take long? Come on. I've got to, if I didn't tell my long-winded stories, we wouldn't have a 30 to 45 to an hour long podcast.
So for all of you listeners who said, I'd listen to the PoddiMouths more if it were only 30 minutes long, Nick is the reason why it's so long.
Full credit or full blame, however you want to look at it. It's kind of like we asked the listeners to bring one person on to listen to us if they like us. And if they don't like us, bring one enemy. It's the same thing.
As long as we get people.
As long as we get people, exactly.
And speaking of asking our listeners for help in not only getting more people to download the podcast, which, by the way, if you haven't done, that is an awesome way to listen. It's great to have you listen is the moment it comes out, but download it. And wow, we've been getting... And no bragging here at all, because our listeners know this has been a long, drawn-out process for us.
Yes, it has.
But we've been getting a lot of people who are starting to download. What was our record last time?
It was the last download last week, because I get a report every week. Last week we were at a little over 100 downloads.
How cool is that? And again, and I'm not look. This is not something Dax Shepard's going to look and say, oh, the competition's sneaking up on me, or Joe Rogan's going to be scared that we're taking all his listeners.
Right.
But for us, that's pretty awesome.
Speaking of Dax Shepard, I just have to call this out. Yes, thank you, listeners. But I do have to call this out because John sent me a text last week and he said, I think I might be changing my mind about Dax Shepard. Look at this commercial.
I never disliked him. I just didn't really.
You didn't get into it. But correct. Then there was it wasn't Mad TV. It was what do they call it? It's a new comedy YouTube thing. It's similar to Mad TV in a way. Funny or Die. It's Funny or Die.
Oh, okay.
And there was a segment where Dax was interviewing his wife in real life to be in Kristen Bell, to be in his movie Chips.
So she was reading for the role of his wife.
Exactly. It was phenomenal, but he kept making her read it over and over again and being like he was being in character as the director, not as her husband. So I would highly recommend looking that up. Look up Dax Shepard, Kristen Bell audition, Chips audition.
It was hilarious.
It was.
I mean, and she was probably the funniest part of the whole thing, but she says, "Yeah, that's not exactly what we're looking for." She goes, "What do you mean that's not what you're looking for?
Didn't you write the part for me?"
He's like hammering him. Yeah, it's really funny. So definitely take a listen. So paying back our listeners, that you will thank us for that, I think. Another thanks comes from one of our listeners goes out to one of our listeners who, remember last time we asked them to say, ask us any question and we'll do our best to answer it or deal with it. And this was from Marnie, and Marnie said, Listerine strips versus scope. I'm assuming that was in the form of a question, but that's what she was looking for. So Listerine strips, you know what those are, right? They come in the little plastic packs, and
you're addicted to those.
I am always using them, but my breath is always delightful.
Right. The only thing that keeps me away from those is the aspartame. I don't want to get rat cancer.
0 calories.
Right, because they use aspartame.
No, they actually use sugar alcohols. You should know the difference.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, big difference.
Whatever. Okay.
Sugar alcohol.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
they're vodka flavored. They're delightful.
I think vodka flavor. You didn't think I caught that, did you?
I did.
Anytime there's alcohol involved.
I like when you'll catch it when you're editing.
Jen likes it when I catch it when I'm editing.
You start laughing. Yes. All right.
Anywho,
yes. So
what John is introducing here is a new segment that we are going to hopefully have consistently on every podcast episode. Yep. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the Potty Corner. We should.
I'm
gonna have to. No, I will. I'll probably put some music in there.
You're gonna go over what I just did professionally?
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh.
Podius interruptus. Did you like that last week? By the way, I was cutting up a bunch of Peyton stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Peyton joined us without asking her a lot last week. Anyway, so let's dive into it. Listerine strips or scope?
Well, okay. So I'm a big fan of Listerine strips because you can take them with you. Scope, I mean, it may look like you got some action in your pants or something if you put a bottle of scope in your pants.
True.
But I prefer to have the accessibility of the little Listerine strips. And now, and Listerine, not a sponsor, now they have these things called Chew and Swish and Swallow. I don't, you know what? I do have the name. Hold on. Because
I like the name Chew and Swish and Swallow. I mean, that would be a great. I went
to college with her. Yeah.
Oh wow!
They're called Listerine Ready Tabs.
Ready Tabs. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so I'm a big fan of Listerine, not necessarily the strips, because I get canker scores, a lot of canker scores, and I also get canker sores. I get a lot of canker sores, and Listerine, if I use it regularly, either gets rid of them or I never get them when I'm using it.
Do you do the old medicine-y brown Listerine?
No. I just, that makes me, it tastes like vomit to me. Any other flavor beyond that, I'm fine with. But but that said, I have one issue with either Listerine mouthwash or Scope mouthwash or, and I want to get back to the Scope and Listerine difference here in a second. Yeah. Or any toothpaste for that matter. And that is if we fly or travel, is that 3.5 ounce limitation that you have. So you can't really carry any liquids. I may have found a solution. I haven't tried it yet because it also came today. I made a comment to Jen when I got both packages. I've got one package here to make my breath really stinky, smells like coffee, and one to make my breath smell really, really good. So I ordered Bite, B-I-T-E. Okay. And if you don't know what Bite is, they're little chewable tabs. They look like aspirin pills. And you can get a mouthwash version and you can get a toothpaste version. So what you do is you take the pill, and when you're going to brush your teeth, you pop it in your mouth, you bite it, you take your toothbrush that's got, you wetted it, and then you brush your teeth with it, with what's in your mouth. Same with the mouthwash. You bite it and you put a little water in your mouth and it turns into mouthwash, and you just swish for 30 seconds and spit it out. They smell really strong, so I'm hoping they are really strong, but I haven't tried them yet. So I don't know if they'll work, but it does kind of get around that travel issue because it's not liquid now.
Right. So, but let's be clear though. It sounds, based on your description, like it's essentially saliva mouthwash.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the mouthwash, you do add water. So you add 2 ounces of water. So you take a shot glass, basically an ounce and a half of water.
Okay. But there's going to be some saliva inherently that goes in there.
Oh, absolutely. But that's just brushing your teeth or Listerine too.
It seems like they should be paying you though for using your bodily fluids to actually get their product to disperse.
Right. Yeah. I like that idea. Maybe they should give us a discount. The saliva discount.
They will. That's the old George Carlin saying. He said, doctors have now found that saliva causes cancer, but only when taken in very small doses over a long period of time.
I like it.
Well, that's George Carlin for you. So that's the Ready Tabs too. I should say they're similar in that regard, that they you chew them and it's like it's a swish and swallow sort of a thing.
Right.
And maybe that's what they're going to now. But yeah, you're right. I found a way to get around, because I love the little Listerine, right? 3.5 ounce, right?
Yeah.
That is the airplane or the airline allowable level. And I found how to get past that, and honestly, it works pretty well. I will have that 3.5 ounce, and keep it in my, and then I have another 3.5 ounces in my mouth, and so when I go through security, I just have that.
Yeah, that's kind of how our listeners would rather have us talk, anyways.
I think it probably is, but but then there's the spitting that inherently.
Right. So, but back to the Listerine versus Scope.
Sure.
Listerine helps with the canker sores. The Scope does not. And I think it has more to do with the amount of alcohol that's in Listerine versus Scope. I think. I don't know.
So here's how we can test that. Take an ounce of vodka, swish it in your mouth, and then follow it with Scope, and then see if that has the same effect as just Listerine.
Well, maybe it's because I never spit out the vodka. I just swallow it instead. that never works, but it's worth a shot.
Or a shot and a half.
Exactly.
If you want to do more.
Exactly. Well, and that said too, with the bite, that's one thing I am a little bit concerned about is, will it help with the canker sores?
Do you get them quite often? I mean, how often?
Again, it depends. Now, if I haven't been using Listerine, I will probably get twice a month, maybe I'll get a canker sore.
Okay.
And it also depends too. I can always tell if I'm about to get a cold when I get canker sores.
Yep. That used to be me too. Before the surgery.
The surgery to end colds?
Nah, I'm just kidding. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be. Hey, it would get us beyond the is it a cold or is it COVID? Now we would know it's COVID.
Well, I'm like our drinking game now we would be fine.
Exactly.
It was, and it's funny too because it keeps coming up in church. So we're our church is meeting face to face.
Drinking vodka?
No. We'll come to that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's only communion. So our church is meeting face to face, and we have been for months now. But we social distance inside, and for a while, and for many months, we had the doors open and everything, so there's plenty of airflow, and everybody wears a mask, and that's the rules of the state, and that's what we're doing, and we're just trying to be faithful to all that stuff. But it's kind of interesting because
you're being faithful to your faith.
We're being faithful to meeting, but we're being faithful to what the government's asking us to do as well. Yeah, stop it.
You went totally literal. Yeah, I should call you Peyton.
That's because we had no idea where you were going. I'm speaking. All the listeners are on my side.
Whoever does.
That's true. Not Jen. But what's interesting is the drinking game I talked to you about before, which is anytime someone says because of the COVID, you have to take a drink. We've been doing it a lot in church lately where somebody is talking about whatever and they go, because of the COVID. And I look over at my buddy, Matt, like side eye to see if he's going, pretending to take a shot, which we're not doing in church. Anyway, yeah, it seems that because of the COVID, it seems to come up a lot. And it's something that we have to keep an eye on.
That's something I was reading today while I was working. I got a bunch of documents from different places about marketing trends and things like that. It's the beginning of the last quarter of the year, so you get a lot of these new reports that are coming out. And I was thinking, as I was reading all of them, in a lot of spots, it said because of COVID, because of COVID, because of COVID. I wonder 5 years from now, if someone goes back and looks at some of these documents, what they're going to think, or even further out when they start looking at historical documents and seeing all of this written material that says due to COVID or due to this or due to that, people are going, what the hell is COVID?
Well, so it's interesting when you look, okay, this is religious John apparently coming out now, but if you look at the Bible in Psalms, there are several Psalms written by King David, and they say a maskil, M-I-S-K-I-L of David. And after all these years, they don't know what a maskil is. I mean, they think it might be a song or a poem or a certain type of.
I just thought it was Massengil.
But they're not sure. That's different. In fact, that was the other part of the question from Marnie. She said Listerine strips versus Scope versus
Massengil?
vinegar and water. Okay, she didn't say that, but still.
Yeah, that was good. That was
So
good,
a
John.
mass kill, and that's something they don't. COVID may have the same sort of staying power,
Sure.
where nobody knows what it is. Several
Yeah.
years.
Well, I guess it depends on how long it'll be around too, because there have been other pandemics. I think we've talked about that historically,
Sure.
all happening on the 20s.
Yes.
That's a real conspiracy theory right there.
Wow.
But things like polio. We talk about polio all the time. So if that was written in a document due to polio, everyone would know what that is. But polio was around for a long time.
Sure.
So it'll be interesting to see that it's history in the making.
Well, we talk about vaccines for, COVID and various other things, many flus, and you remember SARS and some of the others that were around a few years back. Polio, the vaccine took over 100 years from what and I'm just off the top of my head, but some of these major breakthroughs, they take forever.
Mm-hmm.
And so for a vaccine to be created in the short amount of time that COVID will be, and it's looking like it will be very soon, it's imminent. It's pretty amazing. It really is when you consider how long people had to live with it. Our neighbor, when I was growing up, guy 3 houses down, had polio when he was a kid, and he was in a wheelchair all the time I knew him. And gosh, it just had to be horrific because it was a childhood disease.
Right. And we were talking about this earlier before we hit record, but the one thing that even my generation had experience with polio, not because it was prevalent in our society, but and you have it, my dad has it, my mom has it, my aunt has it. I used to remember as a kid seeing the scar on my parents' shoulders. And what I'm talking about is just this little, what is it, a nickel size?
Yeah, it was like a gun they used, as I recall.
Yeah,
and it made like little pricks in it. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, well, it made one little prick, John.
Well, when you think about little pricks, I didn't want you to, think I was talking about you.
Right. Anyway, but that was my, and it was everyone. All of my friends and I, we had talked about that when we were kids too. Does your parents have? Do your parents have it? Do your parents have it? Yes.
Yep.
It was something to relate to. I don't know if that was everywhere. If my little town was very, very weird in Minnesota, but anyway, it's there is a certain generation that had those shots and had to have them.
That's right.
Which it's been something that's around for a long time, and everyone knows what it is. And we have also had a president that had it. So.
Yep. It's there are a lot of the anti-vax people here, and we're not here to talk about that today. But I understand if people get concerned about certain things being, extenuating circumstances from a vaccine of some sort. But far and away, I mean, certain things you just got to trust. You just got to say. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be anti-vax. All I'm saying is everyone is certainly having to take the information they have available to them and use that to their best of their knowledge. Because look, we're not talking even about ourselves. Primarily, we're talking about our kids.
Right.
And that's really a responsibility that I don't know. I'm not sure enough people take seriously. I could be wrong about that, but my kid had all his vaccinations, and some of them were, oh man, they used to give them in their feet when they were infants. And oh gosh, I still remember him crying, and I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry, know. But it's those, you try to make those best judgments that you can, and anyway,
well, so that's just the nature of life, anyways.
Yeah, it kind of
is.
All
about making the best judgment based on the information that you have.
Correct, and trying to get. And the nice part about the internet, whether you believe everything you read or not, and let's hope not. Yeah, I know you do. But that's really
it was on the internet. It's real.
Hey, if you think about it, 15, 20 years ago, there were a lot of people who talked that way. My gosh. Well, I saw it online, so it's real. Oh, well, that's like in the National Archives then. If it's online, it must be very accurate. So anyway, it's you got to take all the information. But thinking about these days, Nick, how we do research, for example. And it used to be, even when I was in college, kids would go study in the library.
Mm-hmm.
We do things totally differently now, obviously, but I don't even give it a second thought. Whether it's asking my phone in a regular conversation or if it's just, I'm going to do some research on this, it's pretty cool.
So funny you bring that up because, again, it is October 1st.
Woo!
And we've already been watching Halloween movies, Halloween-esque movies in my household because, it's what else are you going to do during COVID?
Well,
anyway,
what have you?
It's because of COVID. Well, that was my point here about libraries. So Peyton and I watched Ghostbusters the other night. And it was the very first scene, the library. That. And Peyton said, man, because she thinks we always tell her, it's a movie, it's fake. Yep. And she looked at the library scene and said, Daddy, could you imagine if libraries actually looked like that? And I stopped for a second. I said, Peyton, they do. It's like awesome. None of the libraries I've been in look like that. And I said, well, because a lot of the stuff that we have now is on a computer, so the libraries can be much smaller.
But it's awesome because he got slimed and he's rubbing it on the cards.
On the cards and yep, exactly. Awesome. Exactly.
Duh.
Yeah.
He's whipping it off his head. So
just for those of you who can't see us, we're actually doing the flip with our fingers.
Our hands. Duh. Yeah. A confession really quickly about Ghostbusters. Years ago when Lisa and I moved into an apartment outside of Chicago, we were waiting for our cable to get hooked up because that's what you did back then. And it was going to be a week or 10 days before they could get there. We had one movie, Ghostbusters,
nice,
on VHS that we had pirated, HBO, from HBO back in 1986.
I never watched pirated movies from HBO because my dad didn't have free HBO at the fire station at all. They never did that. So none of the movies we ever watched were from HBO or Showtime or Skinamax or anything like that.
Wow.
Recorded on tape. Skinamax.
Nice. Yeah. So I know Ghostbusters inside and out because without exaggeration, I've watched it 50 times easily. Yep.
Yeah. So me too.
You want to watch Ghostbusters again?
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Now it's just like Christmas movies. Now it's every year. We will watch it around Halloween time.
That's awesome.
That's Hocus, cool. The 1, 2, and now 3, and hopefully soon 4.
Yeah.
Hocus Pocus. And I really do. A part of me wants them to come out with another Hocus Pocus, but as long as they use the same actresses. But I don't think they will. Which again is okay too, because you can't really beat the first one.
Okay, how about Goonies?
Goonies is not a Halloween flick for me.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Okay.
No, that's just a whenever I want to watch it flick.
Sick.
Another one is it's an old made for TV movie called The Boogedy Man.
Never seen it. Okay.
It was on Disney a lot when I was a kid. So been able to get that. It's horrible. It's absolutely a horrible show, but I don't know. We always watch it for Halloween. And then there's a bunch of movies that I'll watch, but I've got to, slowly bring Peyton into it. Like Dawn of the Dead would be a good one.
Oh,
not ready for prime time for her.
Probably not.
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
Halloween, definitely. Yeah. A bunch of movies like that. What's the one with the famous one with
Nightmare on Elm Street?
That one too. I can't remember the name of it. It has Bruce. It's a B movie. Not Bruce Willis. He's a B actor, but he's really famous as a B actor. It's the one with the second one where he cut off his hand and was a chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw.
No,
Massacre?
But that was another good one. Okay. The old one, not the new one.
Okay.
I'll think of it when I'm not trying to think of it. But anyway, that movie and the one movie I will not watch, even though I think it is fantastic. It's a great movie, but it will actually still give me nightmares. And maybe it's because of my upbringing as a Catholic.
Exorcist.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What a fantastic freaking movie.
I saw it in the theater.
I bet you it gives me nightmares every single time.
It's one of the few movies that I had to turn away.
Really?
Oh, yes. We're in the theater. I'm there with my girlfriends because it was, 1977 or something.
Uh-huh.
And it's one you wanted to take, your girlfriend too,
Right.
because she was going to grab your arm and snuggle up, and she did. And just when I think it was the throwing up scene
Uh-huh.
after she rotated her head, and that's when, yes, oh, look at that, there's the exit sign, and it was fine. It was fine. I don't think I ever told her, nor does she ever know that I turned away, but I may have turned away watching Grease once too. I'm not sure.
Oh, I mean, I turned away all the time watching Grease. That's just what you do.
Not
so
when Olivia Newton-John was dancing, Mr.
Have you seen any of the Scary Movie series?
I have not.
Okay. Well, there's a series of movies called Scary Movie, and it's making fun. I think there's 5 of them.
Yep.
They're making fun of all the scary movies that were out there, and I'm trying to find which one it was.
Okay.
But one of them had, they were making fun of The Exorcist, and James Woods was in this one.
Okay.
And James Woods played the priest.
Oh,
and to this day, I think it was the funniest line I've ever seen in a movie.
Okay.
Because I'd seen Exorcist so many times.
Right.
He walks into the room. They do the green pea vomit.
Yeah.
And he turns around and goes, "Fuck this." Runs out.
Great. Here's another one my mom can't listen to.
Yeah. Mine either.
That's pretty funny.
Oh yeah. I would watch that movie just for that scene. It's hilarious. And then there's another scene with him. He's trying to slay the demons while he's in the bathroom.
Doing that.
Oh yeah. I'll look it up and see if I guarantee it's on YouTube. I'll have to look up the scene and send it to you. Okay. It's hilarious.
I bet it is.
Yeah. Wow. And then another one that's not a scary movie. It's just a kooky fun movie that, again, I'm still too early in life for Peyton to see it, but Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh gosh. Okay. And that one's just
that's just it's a funny movie, and it's a cult classic. You got to watch cult classics.
You need to go with the right attitude. It's like visiting New Orleans or visiting what other city is like that? Vegas. You got to have the right attitude.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Evil Dead was the name of the movie I was trying to get to.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Evil Dead.
So I do not like. I've never been a fan of horror movies.
Yeah, me either. I'm not a huge fan.
I just don't like them, and some of the the scary ones are.
I don't find them scary.
No, I don't. But I don't even want to go through it because it's just kind of But some movies that if you watch, like Jaws was one of the interesting ones that there were some scary parts to it.
Sure.
What was the
first time you saw it?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The second time it was less scary, but I saw it on a boat. That was not like watching airport or something in a plane.
Wow.
That's not good. But what was the, oh gosh, it was the, Nick Nolte. I love the ones that are kind of scary because of their characters. Mm-hmm. And it was Perfect Storm.
Okay. Was Nick Nolte in that?
I think he was.
I don't remember Nick Nolte. I know.
Or maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. I thought it was A Perfect Storm, though.
It definitely could be. I don't remember Nick Nolte in that. I just remember, what's his name? What is his name?
His brother, George Clooney.
Yeah, George Clooney.
Mark Wahlberg.
Wahlberg. That's what I was looking for.
Wow. Christopher. Nope. I'm thinking of a different movie then.
Okay. Well, look up Nick Nolte.
I'm going to.
Because that's what our listeners pay us to do is sit there and look up So
they pay us well.
They pay us very well. There's one movie that I'm trying to look up right now as well that I could add to the list with Nicole Kidman.
Mm-hmm.
It added to both lists, the Halloween list and also it was great the first time around, but then after it kind of ruined the movie. It didn't ruin the movie. It's still a really good movie, but it ruins the scare.
Yeah.
It is, it's the one where I don't want to give it away, even though it's an old movie. She and her kids are being haunted in their giant mansion, and her husband is a soldier in World War I, I think.
Okay.
And they go through and they're trying to deal with this haunting in their house. You get to the ending. If no one has seen the movie, which I'm still trying to look up the name, but if no one's seen the movie, this is the time because I'm going to give a spoiler. This is your spoiler alert.
Uh-oh.
You ready? Okay. Hopefully everyone's gone for the spoiler alert. But at the end of the movie, we find out that they are the ones who are dead.
Oh.
And the haunting is coming from the people that they're technically haunting that are in modern times. Trying to buy the house and take it over. So, things like the curtains being pulled off the wall all happened because.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm still looking up the name.
Okay. Well, that's fine. I found mine and it was Cape Fear.
Cape Fear. That's what I was thinking, but I didn't know if you were going back.
Scary.
Yeah.
Good and scary. Yeah. Perfect Storm is a different one, obviously. And that was a good movie too, by the way.
It was an okay movie. The True Story is better.
Wow. Yes, it sure is. So as I'm looking through IMDb, any idea how many movies Nick Nolte has been in?
No, how many?
108.
Wow.
That's amazing, isn't it?
That is amazing.
Yeah, and I've always loved him from, I guess the first time I really knew him or became familiar with him was 48 Hours.
Yeah. The Others. That's what it's called. The Others.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. I know.
And then, of course, she's been in another great one it's a fun one, which Peyton has seen, Practical Magic.
I have not seen that.
That one's a fun one. They play witches. It's Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
And Stockard Channing is in it as well.
Interesting.
Yep.
Stockard Channing, I automatically think back to Grease then. Now we've come full circle.
Yeah. And Diane Weiss.
Diane Weiss was in Grease?
No, but she's in this movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
she may have been one time.
May have been. Yep.
Yes. Awesome.
So anyway, that's what I look forward to in this season is all of the movies. And then we move into November, which November and December to me, yes, Christmas is fine and dandy, but it's the food months. It's where you cook all of the big meals.
Okay.
And that's so
which
then you'll need Listerine or Scope to keep your mouth fresh after eating all of the good food.
Are you going to gain a bunch of weight this year in November?
Probably I'll probably maintain my weight because I'm still trying to lose weight.
What?
So, I've got to get down 160 pounds.
Shut up. My doctor told me one time in Michigan, my doctor in Michigan, he said that, you could stand to lose 20 pounds. And I looked at him and I said, so could you. He had nothing to say.
That's awesome.
He looked at me, he kind of shook his head and walked out of the room. Boom.
Nice.
Wow.
I actually haven't had a doctor in a long time tell me I should lose weight. So that's a good thing.
You're quite svelte.
And when I say a long time, in the last year, because I've been losing weight.
Yeah.
But the only question I get, because if I go to the doctor and I say, well, I've been losing weight, they're like, oh, really? Are you trying to do that? Yeah.
Well, but that's a good question.
It is a good question. It is. It could lead to a whole bunch of other things if I'm not trying to lose weight.
For sure. Yes. I'm on the decapitation diet and going one finger at a time right now. And
yep, exactly.
Losing all kinds of weight. Yeah. You have done very well with your portion control. And that's,
I have. I'd like to think I have.
Well, you have. I mean,
that and intermittent fasting. I like the intermittent fasting.
Do you do
I don't think that has anything to do with my weight loss. That makes me feel better.
Oh, well, it's all about your feelings.
Exactly.
So
I'm very sensitive.
Isn't that the truth? Yes, you really are. A little tear came to my eye there.
Oh,
not really. Yeah, the intermittent fasting is interesting to me, and I've tried it for a little while, but it's like my schedule always gets, you travel, and I'm not making excuses, but suddenly, if I'm normally going to wait till 11 a.m. to eat for the day, and then, what if I'm on a plane and I can't eat, or I can grab something out of my bag? It's not going to be as healthy as if you cook it yourself. And then if I got to be done eating by 7, crap, I'm on a plane. I'm not going to be able to eat anything. So it goes out the window.
Right.
And some people have done the alternate day fasting too, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Skip an entire day.
Yeah. I couldn't do that. There's a certain point in the day where I need something. I need fuel. No, my intermittent fasting, all I've really done is, doesn't matter when I'm done eating. I just mark that time, and I just make sure I don't eat for 16 to 18 hours after that.
Yeah.
And that's it. So if I eat, which I have done before, if I eat my last meal at 4:30, that means 16 hours later, I can have a meal, which is nice. And because that's about brunch time.
Sure.
Or if I eat at 5 or 6 or whatever it is. And that's kind of how I don't even stick to that. Sometimes sometimes I'll make it 15 hours or 14 hours. And I'm just like, okay, I'm really hungry. I'm going to eat.
But it's also fair to note that you and Jen and Peyton, of course, eat very healthily, typically when you're at home.
Try to, except for Peyton, who likes a lot of ramen, cups of ramen, cup of noodles.
She can do that when she's young, but
yeah.
But you all eat a lot of veggies, and Jen is vegetarian,
pseudo-vegetarian, right?
Yep. And so I think that's part of it, and that's where I think you've used COVID to your benefit when it comes to eating.
I agree 100%. Because just the way we shop.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Eat better and shop better. I think that has a lot to do with it. And Lisa's, my wife, has done great with that as well, by the way.
Yeah, you said that.
She has, she stuck to it. By extension, I do too. And because I typically eat what she cooks, which I've done for years.
And also, I know we joke about drinking a lot, and we've had our happy hours on the podcast.
Sure.
That also plays a big part in it. I don't usually drink during the week.
Empty calories,
yeah. I'll have a cocktail or two on the weekends usually.
Yep.
But very rarely do I drink during the week, and I do think that plays a big part in weight loss.
We've discussed this. It's not just the fact that you're taking in empty calories; it's that it makes you, because it breaks down your your levels of control. And
exactly.
So instead of I shouldn't eat that whole box of Oreos, but
and it's also that it's
good now.
Instead of looking at it going, I've got this huge drawer full of wonderful zucchini. I'm drunk. Let's break out the zucchini.
Said no one ever. You're taking ramen and putting brown sugar on it.
Exactly.
This is delicious.
Yeah. Well, and that's also, you break out the popcorn machine, your nice light salt. No, it's butter. Bitch, bring out the butter.
Yes, it's caramel corn suddenly.
Exactly.
And you wake up the next morning and go, what the heck was this?
Yeah, I'm not weighing myself today.
Stuck in there. Yeah, that's not good. I lost a tooth. Damn caramel corn.
Wow. Yes, it's exactly it. So that does play a pretty big factor. And also, even if you are drinking, it depends on what you're drinking too.
Sure.
Beer and wine.
Sure.
You just tend to, first you tend to drink a lot more because it doesn't have as high alcohol content, and you don't get where you want to go as fast.
Yes.
But it's also very high in calories.
Yep.
Whereas whiskey doesn't have as many calories, but you're not going to drink as much.
No, and that's typically true. Although they're lowering levels of calories in a lot of beers these days, and
trying to, at least, but not the good ones.
Exactly. Well, that's often the case. Yeah, microbrews, not so much.
Right.
They're interesting. I saw an ad, probably on Facebook, from a new company that's creating an aloe-based liquor. So
interesting. That's got to be close to tequila.
Well, I'm guessing it's like
mezcal.
a tequila or vodka type of arena. And I think they're relatively close, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. But they also have a cucumber and mint and muskmelon, which I have these
interesting.
days called
and now
cantaloupe.
So now there's a big difference between, I think, what you're talking about and some of the other. Again, my neighbor is a liquor distributor, and he was talking to us about the fact that right now they can't keep flavored vodkas in stock.
Is that right?
Because one, they can't produce it fast enough because of COVID, but now everyone else is at home drinking and they're getting more into the flavored vodkas. And when you say flavored, that's added flavor. What I'm assuming you're talking about is they're actually making the liquor from these things instead of adding the flavor later, correct?
Correct. So let me give you, hold on. The name of it is Chareau, Chareau. And it's an aloe liqueur, they're calling it. So it may be more towards something else, but it's kind of interesting because it's unlike vodka, which is often 80 proof or 40% alcohol. This is 25%.
Okay.
And so not quite as, but certainly, double the liquor, or double the alcohol of wine or even, heavy beers.
Right. So it's kind of in the realm of a schnapps.
It seems to be, but I'm not sure about the flavor of that. Okay. So it's kind of interesting, but they're doing like a crowd funding, and it seems to be so it says
interesting
flavors from aloe, but blending additional flavors of cucumber, spearmint, lemon peel, and muskmelon.
So they are doing the vodka thing with the added flavors. They're just making it out of aloe.
Seems like it.
Okay.
Interesting. But they are calling it a liqueur, which vodka is not.
Right.
So,
but schnapps is.
Schnapps is correct.
Very cool.
Cointreau
or
B&B.
Yeah. Oh, I love B&B. I really do. You're also talking about a little coffee liqueur. What is that? Kahlua.
Kahlua. Yeah. Sure.
So
creme de menthe.
That's interesting. Creme de menthe.
Creme de coke.
I haven't had in a really long time as a good grasshopper.
It's funny you say that because we used to at the supper club where I used to work many years ago.
The last place I had.
I know, but we had to do them at the beginning of the evening because by the time people were ordering them, they take forever to make if you're doing them the right way with ice cream. And so we had a blender that was this big around and probably 4 feet tall, 3 feet tall. And we would make them up before people got there and just put them in the freezer. But we had to do brandy Alexanders. Remember those?
Yeah.
And also delicious and served with nutmeg. Oh my gosh.
And all of this very low calorie.
No, massive calorie. And that's just it. People go out to eat and they'd start off with, 2 or 3 old fashions.
Yeah.
And always the brandy old fashioned sweet because it was Wisconsin.
Right.
And so I made 150 of them a night. Seriously. And people would come and eat and then they go, well, let's finish up with a grasshopper. So 2,500 calories later, you're going home. Wow, I really feel full.
Yeah. I wonder why. And the amount of sugar. Woo.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, an old fashioned is sugar.
It's a whole lot of sugar. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Oh, and people wonder why we, anyway.
I'm not even no idea where you're. People wonder why we're all fat.
And silence. Speaking of fat, let's fatten this podcast up.
Let's do it.
So the next time, I know we're gonna get better at Potty Corner. I think we started out well, but instead of making it a segment and then ending the segment, we just kind of flowed into the next. So who knows? But
do that.
But yeah, exactly. But speaking of Potty Corner, if you have any thoughts, any ideas, any suggestions, whether it's just some off the wall funny topic, or you want us to tackle a very serious life problem, solve all the world's problems, we're more than happy to do that here on this podcast. Just shoot us an email at poddymouths@gmail.com or head up to our website. From there, you can get to all of our social media.
What is our website for Pete's sake?
PoddiMouths.com, baby.
PoddiMouths.com, that's it. PODDI.
Yeah. So anyway, go to our website. From there, you can go to our social media. What do you want to call them? Accounts? I don't
Sure.
even know what to call them. Our social. You can go to our social media pages. There we go.
Yeah.
It's pages. Go to our social media pages and leave us a comment there. Give us our ideas there, whatever you want. You can also, from the website, check out some of our past episodes, or you can listen to them on any of your favorite podcast listening
devices.
Services. I was going for services.
Things.
Well, your podcast listening device, hopefully that's your phone or your computer.
Or whatever.
Or whatever.
Maybe your iPod from 1990.
You could. I mean, you still can download it from iTunes.
See?
Yeah. Well, I haven't checked since they got I haven't checked, right?
Don't
I haven't
dare edit that out.
Oh, I'm going to.
No, you're not.
I probably won't, because I like it when I make fun of myself or make an ass of myself. Both. Anyway.
He always does that.
Oh, I'm gonna use that from now on instead of Podius Interruptus.
That's perfect.
Anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh,
okay.
Please head up to, if you do have a favorite podcast listening app, please head up there and leave us a comment there as well.
Yep.
Let people know that you like the program. Give us a thumbs up or stars or whatever system you use, and however you rate us and let us know how we're doing, because that all means a lot. That helps us go from 100 to 200 active downloads to 300 to 600 to 900 and on and on and on and on. And we would just love to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing it no matter how many listeners, because John and I just enjoy the company of each other. But, well, I enjoy his company. I don't know what he enjoys. There's a lot of money on the bed. I know, right? I just wish I could fit your head through the door.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm going to double your weight at some point. I think we need to go for that, where you're 150 and I'll be 300.
Okay.
We should really shoot for that.
We should. When we get to video, that'll be really, really cool. And speaking of video, you can also check out the podcast on YouTube if you're a YouTuber instead of any of the other places.
Is it on video yet?
Not on video yet. We're going to get there. We're going to get there someday.
We're going to do that. So you'll have to look. I wonder if our listenership will go way down when they have to look
way down. Exactly. I'm going to have to think of a new background too.
Yes. I like, though, all of your certifications and meritorious stuff.
What about this one right here?
Meritorious stuff.
That's
a boat. Yeah.
It's a pirate ship with a heart sail right there.
What a shock.
Yeah. That Peyton won first place on that one. It was the first place.
Did she do that?
Yeah.
That's now okay. Can I just say this? For Peyton doing it, that is amazing. And that's not,
and she did it in 4th grade.
You know why? Because I love the fact that A, it's a pirate ship, and B, it has a heart sail.
That's
so
right.
You've got that incongruity, and that's really smart for her to do it. However, if you had done it and you did a pirate ship with a heart sail, we need to talk.
I don't know if I doing a pirate ship with a heart sail is as bad as the fact that it's on my wall.
Well,
if I would have done that and framed it and put it on my wall, we definitely would be discussing some more serious problems.
Look in the corner. It says Nick. It looks like you signed it.
No, it doesn't say Nick. It doesn't say Nick.
It's beautiful. Anyway, good job, Peyton, on that. So, real quickly, a quick thank you for the question about Listerine strips versus scope to Marnie. Thanks, Marnie. And and anybody else, don't be afraid. Shoot us a question. Shoot us a suggestion. We are all ears.
And please make sure, just as a FYI, if you do send us a question and you do or do not want us to use your name, let us know. We're happy to do that. Or
if you want some notoriety, we can do first name, last name, or we could even do your middle name.
We could do your middle name, or if you want us to follow your Twitter account or something like that, put that in the comments as well. And we're more than happy to share that with our listenership as it grows from 1 to 2.
For sure. And can I tell you one thing? The cure for PoddiMouths, Listerine. Those, I think really that is what we've shown today.
Not a sponsor yet.
Sponsor, but they should be.
And if you don't like liquid and you don't like just doing it with saliva, go ahead and check out Bite. Hopefully they will sponsor.
I have some very fresh saliva though. So
you do.
You know what I'm thinking about doing is chewing these things up and then just spitting into a not scope, but an empty container.
Like a Listerine container.
Let's say, and then I can sell that. And who knows? That might be worth millions.
Probably. Not. Anyway.
Saliva scope.
Saliva scope.
kaleidoscope.
Like kaleidoscope. I got it. That's wow, John. Wow. On that note, it's been real. It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun. You're right.
See ya.